Ever since ChatGPT basically took over the internet, there's been this one massive question hanging over every university. Is AI a cheat code, or is it actually a revolutionary new learning tool? Well, let's get into it, because what's happening on the ground is moving way faster than anyone thought possible.
And when I say fast, I really mean it. Just look at this number. According to the UK's Office for Students, a wild 92% of students are now using AI. This isn't some niche tech anymore. It's become a totally normal part of student life. So you have to ask, how did we get here so quickly? Well, that's what this first part is all about. Think of it as the AI campus invasion. It's a technology that didn't just knock on the door. It blew it right off its hinges.
I mean, the speed of this is what's so incredible. We're not talking about a slow burn here. In just one single school year, the use of AI for actual assignments went from about half of all students to almost 9 out of every 10. So the debate is officially over about if students are using AI. The real question now is how. And that brings us right to the students themselves. What's actually in this new AI toolkit of theirs? If you forget the scary headlines about cheating for just a second, the data shows a much more interesting story. So yeah, what are students really doing? Are they all just typing "write my essay" and hitting enter? Well, a really big survey from the Higher Education Policy Institute, or HEPI, gives us some pretty surprising answers. And check this out. The reality is fascinating. The biggest reason students use AI isn't for cheating, it's for learning. 36% use it to get help explaining concepts. It's basically like having a personal AI tutor on call 24/7. And right behind that, suggesting research ideas and summarizing dense articles. The thing everyone's worried about, just submitting unedited AI text, is way down here at a tiny 3%.
And listen to this quote from a student in that report. It just says it all, right? They're not trying to get out of doing the work. They're using AI to quiz themselves, to turn what used to be passive reading into a real, active way to study. It's pretty smart.
But here's the catch. Not everyone is using these tools equally. We're starting to see a new kind of digital divide. Students from more privileged backgrounds are already more likely to be using AI in their assignments compared to students from less privileged backgrounds.
And it isn't just about money. The data also shows gaps when you look at ethnicity and gender. So what this really means is that being good with AI is quickly becoming a new kind of advantage. And that could create a whole new set of inequalities in education.
Okay, so now let's flip the script and look at the universities. While students were jumping on this new tech, the institutions themselves were, well, left playing a frantic game of catch-up.
And that scramble to respond led to basically chaos. There was no playbook. So you had universities all over the world making up their own rules, which created this incredibly fragmented and confusing situation for everyone.
I mean, just look at this. It says it all. You've got Oxford over here saying, yeah, we know you're using it, even in exams. Then Stanford says pretty much the opposite. Peking has its own restrictions. Cambridge has another take. It's just a total mess. A perfect picture of the global confusion.
And you can imagine for students stuck in the middle of all this, it's a huge cause of stress. When they were asked what they wanted, their number one request wasn't for looser rules or anything like that. It was super simple. Just give us clear, consistent guidance we can actually understand.
Thankfully, that message is starting to get through. We're finally seeing a move away from panicked reactions and toward a real strategy. Institutions are starting to do the hard work of actually building a rule book for this new AI world.
And pretty much everyone in landing on the same conclusion. Trying to ban AI is completely pointless. You just can't. It's here to stay. So the real challenge isn't building walls to keep it out, it's creating a set of smart principles to guide how we use it.
A really big step forward on this came from the Russell Group in the UK. They're basically a club of top research universities, and they all got together to create a shared framework, trying to bring some order to the chaos.
And these are their 5 main principles. But just look at the words they're using. Support, equip, adapt, collaborate. This isn't a list of don'ts. It's a roadmap for bringing AI into education the right way, by focusing on teaching people how to use it while still keeping standards high.
So what does that actually mean for a student's day-to-day? Well, guidance from the University of Liverpool breaks it down really clearly. It's totally fine to use AI to brainstorm, summarize a long article, or organize your thoughts. What's not fine is having it write your whole paper, pretending AI text is your own, or using it to cheat. See? Simple, clear rules of the road.
And when you boil it all down, it points to a brand new goal for education. It's not just about stopping cheating anymore. It's about teaching a vital new skill for the 21st century, which is AI literacy, knowing how these tools work,
what they're bad at, and how to use them ethically.
And that really brings us to the big picture here. Why does any of this matter once you're done with school? Because this is all about getting students ready for the world they're actually graduating into.
And get this, that same HEPI report found that nearly 3/4 of students, 73%, fully expect to be using AI in their jobs. They know this isn't just a toy for school, it's a professional tool they're going to have to master.
And that's really the bottom line. This whole debate isn't just about grades or plagiarism. It's about preparing an entire generation for a future where working with AI is going to be as basic a skill as knowing how to use email or a spreadsheet.
So, when you put it all together, the big takeaway is this. The whole point of university has to change. They can't just be gatekeepers of information anymore. They have to become expert guides who can teach students how to find their way through this new AI-powered world.
Which leaves us with one last huge question to think about. As these AI tools get smarter and smarter, will they eventually make universities totally obsolete? Or, in a world that's flooded with AI-generated everything, will the human guidance and critical thinking you get from a university become more important and more essential than ever before?